So now on BBC One, just what we need.
Weather View now on BBC One from Sarah Wilmshurst.
The midweek national lottery draw with Lottery Extra just half an hour away on BBC One after green peppers take on red tomatoes.
An update of the news now on BBC One with George Alagaya.
The real-life space drama that had the world on the edge of its seat now on BBC One. Tom Hanks, Bill Paxton and Kevin Bacon star in Apollo 13. A difference of opinion gets a bit out of hand. Temper tantrums in changing rooms in 35 minutes. And then a wedding under threat. 2,000 Acres of Sky concludes at 9:10 here on BBC One. Also tonight, an actor, director, musician and poet, an all-round star gets the Big Red Book treatment in This Is Your Life in half an hour. First on BBC One, it's Happy Birthday Phil, although you wouldn't know it.
Waiting for your call. This is BBC One.
Your points of view now on BBC One with Terry Wogan.
A question of loyalties in Rebel Heart on BBC One tonight at 9:10 after a birthday surprise in Monarch of the Glen. Tough drama now on BBC One on the run for their lives in the concluding episode of Rebel Heart. A thriller of a movie, A Climate for Killing on BBC One in a few minutes after the weather with Isabel Lang. Here on BBC One now, the news and sport with George Alagaya and Mary Rhodes. It's 10 o'clock. So now on BBC One, another happy birthday in Albert Square.
A powerful lineup now on BBC One, but who's in charge? So now on BBC One, interrogation time, and who's it going to be? Tonight and tomorrow on BBC One, The Crime Double starring Clive Owen, and a new investigation, Murder in Focus with Second Sight.
With Robbie Keane and Teddy Sheringham, A Question of Sport at midnight here on BBC One. And a new series now on BBC One as angry consumers fight back. Get Me the Manager. The news and sport now on BBC One with George Alagaya and Mary Rhodes.
Grab your duffel coat and curly wig. The Jonathan Creek Fan Club meet in 50 minutes here on BBC One.
The news now on BBC One with George Alagaya.
Saying a final goodbye to Compo, its last of the summer wine here on BBC One in 35 minutes after Songs of Praise with Diane Louise Jordan.
And the build-up begins after the news on BBC One with Peter Sissons.
What happens when your big day is also your first day? When playing for ratings means playing with emotions. New drama now on BBC One. Love or money?
A gambling addiction threatens to bankrupt the McDonald's. Sunday night is Glen Bogle night here on BBC One. Monarch of the Glen continues at 5 to 8.
Full of surprises, This Is Your Life with Michael Aspel in half an hour here on BBC One.
First on BBC One, Watchdog with Nikki Campbell.
And before that on BBC One, Heartache in Albert Square.
BBC One witnesses the worst of Britain's high-speed police chases. Hot pursuit, a car...
Reliving life on board the Galaxy with the cruise on BBC One in an hour after Kirk Douglas on the Heaven and Earth show.
Now on BBC One, Michael's up close.
Adjusting to life in the trench, BBC Two's major news series continues in a couple of minutes. And this is BBC One. And later tonight, Jasper Carrot and Mira Sayal star in new comedy All About Me. That's at 8:30 here on BBC One. And that's because now on BBC One, Jonathan Ross introduces a tribute to George Harrison.
This is BBC One, and we're running just over 20 minutes later than planned due to a major power failure earlier here at Television Centre. Many apologies for that. So now, strong language in a disturbing family tale. Widow's Kiss.
Back to this morning on BBC One, people to meet and stories to tell now, with Matthew Kelly at City Hospital.
Celebrating happy anniversaries on BBC One now, but they're not married. Well, not to each other anyway. Strong language in same time next year.
Dicing with danger. Has Mark pushed things too far? EastEnders in half an hour. First on BBC One, celebs take the TV test.
Should we know more about where the food we buy comes from? Countryfile investigates at 11:30 here on BBC One.
And after tonight's Parkinson, Freddie Mercury, The Untold Story, is at 11:15. On BBC One now, the news and sport with George Alagaya and Mary Rhodes.
The final part of Stig of the Dump on BBC One in 35 minutes. Now, Songs of Praise with Sally Magnuson.
Or watching BBC One with John Craven exploring the issues in this week's Countryfile.
Now, Janine's gotta face facts. EastEnders in a moment. First, have you seen BBC One's new drama, Rescue Me? Big time complicated love lives. It continues Sunday nights at 9. And here's a taste.